People who donate a lot of money to streamers, why are you so generous? I'm a fan of small time streamers and how genuine they are. I gave a streamer $30 one time when he was starting out, and the guy looked like he was going to faint from shock. Here he was just doing something for fun and entertainment and not expecting anything besides some conversation. It warmed my heart to see such a humble reaction. It's nice to do a random act of kindness and see it repaid with a smile and graciousness. I hope he is doing well. I've been on Twitch for around 6 years. What brought me there was a streamer whom I helped on Hardcore Diablo 3. I didn't know who he was, let alone what Twitch was. I power leveled everyone all the time and got really efficient. I liked helping people out and it was a decent gold farm. He started talking about how that was the fastest he'd been leveled and how hundreds of people were watching and saying I was awesome. Feels good, man. I was confused and asked him what he was talking about. He gave me the link and I popped into Twitch chat for the first time. I felt like a celebrity and was welcomed very warmly. I'll never forget that for as long as I live. Turned out it was a group of guys running a 24/7 gaming house streaming 365 24/7 in shifts. They still do it to this day and I've been subbed ever since. The reason I donate so much to them is because they have always helped me in games and engaged with their chat, but also I guess I'm living vicariously through them. I'd love to get paid to stream gaming. They even flew me down for a week and I was a guest streamer. We had a hot sauce challenge and I won. Good times. Streamer House will always be my number one on Twitch. I love finding a young guy, early teens, who hasn't been hit by life yet and is still super carefree as a result, seeing him do what he enjoys while having a sincere personality, good nature, and good sense of humor always cheers me up and reminds me of where I was at that age. I'd even go so far as to say that the donation/gifted sub should be seen as selfish on my part, lol. Not me, but I know a lawyer who is a huge nerd and he said his accountant is giving him crap for spending over $35,000 last year on Twitch donations. His reasoning is, I get drunk and then think it's funny to watch people go crazy on stream when I drop a big donation. I then not so subtly mentioned that I can turn on a stream whenever he feels like getting drunk again, lol. Why do I donate my money to streamers? Because most of the streamers I watch are pretty women and I do it so that they appreciate me. I know it isn't real, but it feels good. Christ, this thread is sad. Take an upvote for being honest about your answer though. It makes sense that there'd be some sadness dipped in there. Let's break this down with some BS Psych 101 for fun. Streaming is a very specific kind of entertainment in that it provides interaction with the viewer. Generally, the biggest streamers tend to have a lot of interaction, so that tells me that interaction is a major selling point for the people attracted to this kind of entertainment. Donating is more or less a way of guaranteeing you receive social interaction. The bigger the donation, the bigger the reaction and likely the interaction. Ergo, there's going to be a demographic people that are donating simply to drive that interaction. The people most likely to need to buy social interaction are likely the ones suffering the most with the sadder situations. I can and have a Patreon, so I'm talking from the perspective of people who follow me. Many are in the army or have very average paying jobs and are frugal in other aspects of their life. Instead of spending $60 at a bar one night with their friends, they spend $60 on something they can record and continue to enjoy later. I've noticed people like to support artists, such as live streamers, because they like to live through others. For example, my best cam show was a fundraiser for me to go to Korea and save dogs from the dog meat trade and make a commercial for their rescue. Most people are against dog slaughter and would love to help them firsthand, but can't take off 2 weeks from work to fly across the world. Since my job is crowdfunded and I could work from anywhere, that gives me the opportunity to randomly drive 2 hours away and save a dog from being euthanized at 1 PM when most people would be stuck at work. I have very few wealthy people following me, and I feel like those that are most generous are just normal people who budget well. I'm an accountant and donate when I feel like it or see something cool. Yesterday I donated to someone to do a backflip on stream. I don't have a job that pays much, but my sister started streaming when she lost her job and is going through the process of receiving disability. Not in the USA, so while paperwork and all that sucks, she'll be able to live off the payments. Not much room for fun, but fed, clothed, housed and all bills and healthcare taken care of. It's still a mess with her insurance wanting more and more proof that she can't do her learned profession, chef, while suffering fibromyalgia and depression because she lost everything she worked for at 21 and being considered not employable until her doctors figure out meds. She started streaming because it was a way to escape. I created a new user account where she doesn't know it's me. She gets maybe an average of 5 to 7 viewers. But we, DH and I both use the account, keep donating and spending on average $30 to $50 on her. She wouldn't take the money if we told her it's us. And that way we can help her out, and she's starting to do better mentally as well. Funnily enough, she made a friend streaming, and we keep trying to steal the gold badge from each other as top bit donator. $30 to $50 isn't much compared to what I see others donate, but it's what we can do without straining our own budget until my job situation gets better. Okay, so I haven't ever told anyone this, but I follow this 60-plus-year-old Australian lady who does very old lady type crafts that aren't my style at all but are very well done. She posts videos of her completed and in progress crafts, and I have no idea how I found her, probably 5 or more years ago now. Anyways, I don't craft anymore and I don't care for her style, but her voice is the most soothing thing I've ever heard in my life. These ASMR gals don't have anything on my grandma from Australia who loves vintage laces. So yeah, I purposefully go to estate sales and thrift stores to find cheap antique laces to anonymously send to her PO box across the ocean so she won't stop crafting. I don't donate a lot, but I'll scroll to the bottom of an app like YouTube or Twitch and throw in $5 into their donation thing. It feels good, and you usually get a good reaction out of them. It's good to see people be so thankful for such small things. Not a huge donor by any sense of the word, but for streamers in particular, ones that are quite large, let's say consistently averaging multiple thousands of viewers, I donate because they grinded through a sludge fest to reach where they are. The majority people will see a streamer and think, wow, they have it so easy, they just get to wake up at home, play video games and make a lot of money, but to reach that point they had to spend years streaming or making videos to an incredibly minute audience with the slim hope that maybe they might be able to make money, let alone above their means. I tried streaming to find a way to pay my wife's medical bills. It kills a soul coming home from a 40 hours a week job with adult responsibilities to attempt to stream. Got my fancy push-up bra back in the day when it was allowed. Did it a few months, never hit 25 followers. 0 donations. The work is crazy and most, like me, won't make it. People have no idea how difficult it is. I only donate to my friend's stream who has a text-to-speech bot, so I throw them a few bucks when they are streaming to get the bot to say something funny. And to answer your question, I'm a network security analyst. I had a guild member in one of my past games a few years back who surprised me by being a fantastic artist. He created an absolutely beautiful guild digital painting of everyone's characters and blew everyone away. He didn't put himself out much at the time, but he was working steady on it. He didn't have nearly enough social media followers for how good his art was. So I dropped a follow and supported him any way I could. Fast forward about 2 years. He starts streaming his art and finally gets affiliated. 10 to 20 average viewers. I subscribe and support however I can. Active chatting. Now, he's booming. Followers in the 5 digits plus. He's super busy maintaining what he's built up, and though now I work too much to hang out in his streams like I used to, I still drop a sub whenever I can catch one of his streams. Except now he has way more rolling in along with. He deserves it. Late to the party. I don't know, to be honest, why I donate. I came from a very poor background where my family's annual income sometimes was $150. Not a typo. I struggled really hard, so most of my donations are to very small YouTubers. In fact, to be honest, I donate mostly to people whose setup might not be the best, but those who try very hard. I give out around $100. Very small donations of $10. to the gamers every month, but somehow I feel guilty and typically again donate double of that to Keto or GoFundMe's. I will be honest, most of my donations goes to my home country as I feel a $25 to $50 donation to someone there has more impact. I will also urge people to donate directly to people, especially those who need medical funds. I work at an IT consulting firm and the cost of my current living situation is pretty low, so I have some disposable income. I really enjoy streaming myself, and I know myself someone generous or just someone wanting to come hang out in my chat in general makes my day. If I can do that for someone else, I love to when I can. I'm no big channel myself, but it warms my heart to see smaller streamers succeed. I should also say, as someone who streams for fun, talk to the smaller streamers you watch if you feel comfortable. Giving money isn't required, but just talking to smaller streamers makes more of an impact than you realize. I don't donate, but I want to give a special thank you to all of those who do, as you encourage the new entertainment media to be independent and not be controlled by ad revenue. Wow, you made it to the end. Thank you for watching, you precious little gem, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, and as usual, remember to stay frosty.